We're living in this age of just incredible innovation, right? But there's a catch, a really big one. The very same technology that empowers us to solve huge problems can also be used to surveil and control us. And that's the double-edged sword we're going to dig into today. The promise and the peril, all wrapped up in the same tool. All right, so just a heads up, this is the first part of a three-part series. And to really get our heads around this whole thing, we've got to start with the basics. So today, our focus is on one simple but absolutely crucial question. What exactly are dual-use technologies? Getting this right really sets the stage for everything else to come.
So let me ask you something, and this really gets to the heart of it. What if that phone in your pocket, the thing that connects you to everyone and everything, what if it could also be used to control you? And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's a real thing we have to grapple with right now.
And that question leads us right to our main definition. Dual-use technologies. They're basically systems, tools, platforms, things that are designed for everyday, civilian good, but that can be flipped, repurposed for things like surveillance, repression, or even military applications. The key takeaway here isn't what the tech is, it's what it can become. Its purpose isn't set in stone. It all depends on who's holding it.
Okay, let's make this less abstract. Take facial recognition, for example. We all use it, right? It's super convenient for unlocking your smartphone. That's the promise. But here's the peril. That exact same technology can be used to identify and track individuals in a protest crowd. See? Same tool, but two totally, completely different outcomes. I love this analogy because it just hits the nail on the head. A surgeon's scalpel. It really makes you think, doesn't it? In a surgeon's hands, it saves lives. In someone else's, it's a weapon. The tool itself is neutral. So the real conversation isn't about whether tech is inherently good or bad. It's about who's using it and how we decide to govern it.
Now, you might be thinking this is a brand new problem, something that came along with the internet, but it's not. Not at all. This whole dilemma has been around for a long, long time. The tools have definitely changed, but the fundamental problem? Nope, that stayed pretty much the same. Just look at this timeline. Back in the 40s, you had nuclear tech, great for energy, but also, atomic bombs. Fast forward to the 60s and 80s, you've got chemical compounds. They could be pesticides for crops, or they could be chemical weapons. Then in the 90s and 2000s, biotechnology, amazing stuff like gene therapy, but also the potential for bioweapons. And that brings us right up to today, the digital era, which has a whole new playbook of challenges. So what makes today so different? Why does the digital era feel bigger? It really boils down to three things: scale, speed, and accessibility. Think about it. To build a nuclear program, you need a massive state-sponsored operation. But a digital tool, a piece of software, it can be deployed across the entire globe instantly with basically no physical footprint, and it can affect millions, even billions, of people just like that. All right, let's zoom in on what's happening right now. Today's digital dilemma. The really tricky part is that we're not talking about just one tool here and another tool there. No, it's a whole interconnected ecosystem. All these powerful tools are feeding off of each other, making each one even more powerful. And this right here gives you a great snapshot of what I mean. AI, it can diagnose diseases, or it can automate censorship. Drones, awesome for disaster response, or for monitoring crowds 24/7. Social media, it connects our families, and it spreads propaganda like wildfire. You see the pattern, right? For every amazing promise, there's a flip side, a very real peril. Okay, let's pick one of those and go a little deeper. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. There's a reason we're singling it out. It is so incredibly adaptable, so versatile, that you could argue it's the most powerful dual-use technology we have ever created. I mean, the promise of AI is just staggering. Seriously, we're talking about systems that can look at medical images and spot diseases with superhuman accuracy, way better than the human eye. It's personalizing how kids learn, it's dramatically speeding up scientific research, and it's letting us talk to anyone in the world with real-time translation. It's a total game changer for some of our biggest problems. But here's the twist. The very same thing that makes AI so good, its ability to recognize patterns, is also what makes it so dangerous. That same power can be used to automatically track people in a crowd. It can fuel censorship engines that scan millions of posts every single second. And, maybe most chillingly, it can create deepfakes, synthetic videos and audio that are designed to spread misinformation and completely tear down our sense of what's real. So when you put all of this together, you get to the real heart of the matter. It's this fundamental tension, this constant push and pull between two powerful forces, our drive for innovation and our need for protection.
And you can really break that tension down into three big competing forces. First, you've got the innovation imperative. We absolutely need technology to solve massive challenges like climate change and disease. But that slams right up against the protection responsibility. We have a duty to protect human rights, privacy, and our democracies from being abused by that same tech. And caught right in the middle? The regulatory challenge. Basically, our laws and governance just can't keep up with how fast technology is moving. And that creates a really dangerous gap. So that leaves us with one big, final question for today. If these tools really are neutral, like that scalpel, then how do we use them for good? What does that actually look like? How can we as a society grab all that promise while dodging the peril? Well, that's the perfect place to leave off, because that's exactly what we're going to dive into in part 2.